This is Kardec Radio for Teens.
And now it's time for Message from a Teen in the Spirit World with your hosts, Mark Smith and Carol Correa.
Hello, dear friends. We are delighted to be with you once again to share another message from Carlos's beautiful heart with your own very hearts. Today we will see that Carlos is all the more surrounded by love, and that love comes to him in the most beautiful, unexpected, and expected ways. Isn't it lovely to think that the loving embrace of God is literally ever present in our lives? Even when we may believe that life has reached its end, we come to see that a new and most beautiful cycle has begun. This is very comforting, and with our hearts filled with gratitude, we will now ask our dear Mark to guide us in the reading of this new chapter entitled More Family.
More family. While I was waiting for the doctor, Aunt Eunice, at one point, told me that she was going to fetch other family members. She left, leaving me to the new thoughts that were spinning around in my mind. After a few minutes, the door opened and our aunt came in, accompanied by other individuals. At first, I thought there were a lot of them, but it turned out that there were only two, Grandma Adelia and cousin Antonio. Grandma grabbed my attention the most. She was neither shaky nor stooped over. She looked much younger, happier, and stronger. Her peaceful and bright eyes sparkled with the same kindness as when I had known her before. The surprise at seeing her right there beside me filled me with enchantment and happiness. How comforting! Do you remember when Grandma got really sick and had to leave home for the hospital? We never saw her again after that. Mom told us that the saintly old lady had died and didn't let us go with her to the funeral in order to pay her a last visit. We both often expressed how much we miss Grandma. She had always shown us so much caring. She used to shower us with love and kindness. She forgave us all our wrongs. Can you imagine the joy I felt upon seeing her approaching me? Next to her, I immediately recognized Antonio, our cousin, who had also died in a far-off hospital. He was gazing at me with his affectionate and kind eyes, which really soothed my heart. A true torrent of questions crisscrossed my mind in those next few moments. While there on earth, I had often heard that after the death of the body, we would be led off to either heaven or hell. But what I now saw was the continuation of the same old dear and comforting scenery. Grandma, Aunt Eunice, and Antonio were right there in front of me, more alive than ever, and that fact completely undid our mistaken belief that they disappeared forever in death. Our dear old grandma and cousin smiled and gave me a big hug. Grandma cried with joy, kissed me, and held me on her lap as she used to do. She asked me how everyone was. She was sorry that she hadn't been able to come and get me, and that Aunt Eunice had replaced her. She stated that she would visit Mom at the first opportunity. She kindly asked if you and I were still the same little imps who used to hide her eyeglasses in order to get toys and goodies. Supported by Grandma's good and loving arms, I really miss Mom and cried a lot. Our dear old Grandma, however, consoled me and explained that someday Mom and all of you would come to our new home too.
Isn't it lovely, beautiful friends, to know that we have a home away from home? And this beautiful home in the spiritual realm is truly our one and only home. How do I know that? Because our dearest educator and researcher, Allan Kardec, through much study and observation, noticed that spirit communication was possible and continue to be possible beyond the death of the physical body. And he also concluded in his observations that each one of our actions incur a particular reaction. So the way in which we lead our lives today will result in the future that we envision for ourselves tomorrow. And the other reality that Allan Kardec confirmed to us is the immortality of the soul. This is no longer a belief to us. This is a stated, confirmed, and well-researched reality. Allan Kardec began researching and coding the data or information for that finding 200 plus years ago, or a little less than 200 years ago, and he actually documented beautifully the testimonies of spirits who, like Carlos, had passed on to the spiritual realm in the book Heaven and Hell, the cases in which we can see firsthand the experience of the awakening of our true selves after the death of our physical body. Our physical body, like Carlos is now learning for himself, is a blessed machine, a blessed temporary temple that we, for certain, are to honor and respect, because we are incarnated because of this instrument. But this instrument, like Carlos stated himself, is not all that we are. Who we truly are is immortal spirits. So if you would like to continue your exploration of cases that literally document with details the veracity of the immortality of the soul, we recommend that not only you continue listening to Kardec Radio for Teens, where Bia Lopez discusses the Spirit's book with you, and we discuss messages coming directly from the spiritual realm to us, but you may also, if you wish, explore the cases from the book Heaven and Hell, codified by the French educator, professor, and researcher Allan Kardec. If you prefer to listen to the cases in the soap opera type style, reality show type style, go to kardecradio.com and look for audiobooks. We have, from the Kardec Radio team, we have recorded all the cases that have been reported to Kardec for you to listen and enjoy. So you will see that Carlos, dear friends, is not the only one to be attesting this reality to us, this reality of the immortality of the soul and the moral consequences of the ways in which we lead our lives in the physical realm have been documented much before Carlos discarnated. So as we accompany Carlos, you may wish to accompany and study other cases as well in order to nourish your soul. But what spoke to my heart is that Carlos now feels loved, and Carlos now knows for a fact that we continue to be loved even more so after the death of the spiritual body, because we realize, after the death of the physical body, because we realize that our ties with our loved ones are truly everlasting. So to celebrate those everlasting ties of love that will literally forever be with us, shall we say a prayer mark in gratitude to God?
Thank you, God, for once again providing us with all the beautiful, loving spirits who are part of this incarnation, that we've met in this incarnation, that are both on the incarnate and discarnate planes now. Let's give special thanks to all the generations of our family who we're all connected to, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our mother and father, and our siblings. Bless their beautiful hearts. Bless the love that they've given us. And thank you, dear mentors, for everyone who's part of our family and our spiritual family. Those who we know from school and work and in our neighborhood, those whom we met in different parts of our lives. Thank you so much for all the gift of all these people, because we know that when we reach the spiritual realm, we will be greeted by those whom we've met and loved in our lives. Thank you, and so be it.
Thank you, dear God, for all the ties of blood that nourish our hearts. And thank you, dear listeners, for always being connected to our hearts and already being part of our everlasting, beautiful spiritual family. Until we meet again, we wish you many beautiful blessings of love, fraternity, and gratitude.
This has been Kardec Radio for Teens. Thank you all for listening.